You're watching KSG News, where you get all the latest from across the globe to help with your exam preparations. KSG India proudly announces the commencement of center batches for offline coaching at Delhi, Vijayanagar, Delhi, Rajendra Nagar, Jaipur, Bhopal, and Indore centers, making sure students' health and safety and also the targeted approach towards UPSC Civil Services Examination preparation. Visit www.ksgindia.com for batch queries. We begin with GS Paper 3. This piece of information is in connection with economy. FICCI's overall business confidence index has witnessed a decadal high of 74.2 in the current round on account of improvement in present conditions as well as expectations. This according to the industry body on the 7th of March 2021. The index stood at 70.9 in the previous survey and 59 a year ago, noted as per the survey. It revealed recovery of demand conditions, improved capacity utilization, and a promising outlook on various operational parameters. With regard to the constraining factors for business, the demand situation has improved on the back of the release of the pent-up demand built up during the lockdown. However, rising raw material costs is emerging as a bothersome factor for members of India Inc. The rise in fuel and other commodity prices is beginning to exert pressure on the input costs of companies, FICCI said in this survey. Companies participating in the survey cited high input costs including manpower costs, weak demand conditions and lack of availability of affordable credit as their topmost concerns for the year 2021. A near unanimity was observed as far as input costs were concerned. This, along with high interest costs on loans, higher inward and outward transport, and logistics costs, greater compliance burden on the back of frequently changing statutory compliances and increased manpower costs are further pushing the cost of doing business in India. FICCI said lack of adequate export incentives is also making it difficult for Indian entrepreneurs to compete globally. Outlook on employment and exports also reported a discernible improvement as about 35% respondents were optimistic about better hiring prospects over the next 2 quarters, up from 22%, stating the same in the previous round. The current survey drew responses from a wide array of sectors and was conducted during January and February this year. It gauges expectations for the period January to June 2021. In some more updates related to GS Paper 3, the first independent digital banking platform in the United Arab Emirates launched on 7th March 2021, a neobank hoping to become a leader in the Middle East, Africa and South Asia. Dubai-based YAP does not have a banking license itself but has partnered with RAK Bank, which provides international bank account numbers for YAP users and secures their funds under its own banking license. Now, what does this mean? And what is the significance of this? YAP, like other neobanks which do not have physical branches, does not offer traditional banking services like loans and mortgages, but offers spending and budgeting analytics, peer-to-peer payments, and remittances services and bill payments. YAP is in process of partnering with banks in other countries. Head of Product Katral Nada Hassan said that YAP is in process of partnering with banks in other countries, including a bank in Saudi, in Pakistan and in Ghana. Global leaders in digital banking such as Revolut, one of the world's fastest growing apps, do not have a UAE presence. The fintech revolution has become very popular in other parts of the world, and we saw a gap and unique need for this service in the Middle East. YAP is at seed funding stage, funded by founders, a private equity firm and private investors, Hassan said, adding that more than 20,000 customers have pre-registered and accounts will gradually go live in coming weeks. More news related to GS Paper 3. This is in connection with space technology. India plans to launch on the 28th of March an Earth observation satellite that will provide it near real-time images of its borders and also enable quick monitoring of natural disasters. GSAT-1 is slated to be lifted into space by GSLV F-10 rocket from Sriharikota spaceport in Andhra Pradesh's Nellore district, about 100 kilometers north of Chennai. This according to Bengaluru headquartered ISRO on the 7th of March 2021. Going into some details, the rocket will place the spacecraft in the geosynchronous orbit. It will be subsequently positioned in geostationary orbit about 36,000 kilometers above the Earth's equator using its onboard propulsion system. The launch of the GSAT-1 onboard GSLV F-10 rocket was originally planned for 5th of March last year but postponed a day before the blast-off due to technical reasons. Listing the objectives of the mission, ISRO has earlier said that the satellite would prove near real-time imaging of the large area region of interest at frequent intervals. It would help in quick monitoring of natural disasters, episodic and any short-term events. The third objective is to obtain spectral signatures of agriculture, forestry, mineralogy, disaster warning, cloud properties, snow and glacier, and oceanography. GSAT-1 will facilitate near real-time observation of the Indian subcontinent under cloud-free condition at frequent intervals. The planned launch of GSAT-1, weighing about 2,268 kilograms, comes close on the successful 28 Feb PSLV C-51 mission that orbited Brazil's Earth observation satellite Amazonia-1 and 18 co-passengers, including 5 built by students. GSAT-1 will be followed by the maiden flight of small satellite launch vehicle, ISRO's compact launcher, likely in April. Going into some background, SSLV has been designed to meet launch-on-demand requirements in a cost-effective manner for small satellites in a dedicated and ride-share mode. It's a 3-stage all-solid vehicle with the capability to launch up to 500 kg satellite mass into 500 km low Earth orbit and 300 kg into Sun-synchronous orbit. By comparison, PSLV, the workhorse launch vehicle of ISRO, can take up to 1,750 kg payload into SSO of 600 km altitude. With lower per kg launch cost, the mini launcher will have multiple satellite mounting options for nano, micro and small satellites. K. Sivan had earlier termed the SSLV an innovative vehicle which can be assembled in just 72 hours. Instead of 60 days for building a PSLV, the SSLV will be assembled in 3 days. Instead of 600 people that are needed to build a PSLV, the SSLV will be done by 6 people. And in some more updates for GS Paper 3, researchers at the Indian Institute of Science, led by Professor Utpal Tatu of the Department of Biochemistry, have found a set of new proteins unique to COVID-19, including a key protein that suppresses our immune response to the virus. The SARS-CoV-2 genome codes for more than 25 proteins, but only a handful of these proteins have been identified so far. Now, what does this mean? Studying viral proteins provides functional information which is currently not well represented. In the analysis, we detected 13 different proteins, most of them previously unidentified from clinical samples. One such protein called ORF9b, which suppresses the host's immune response, had been predicted, but our team provided the first evidence of its expression. Just knowing how the virus functions will not be enough, he said, adding that one needs to put it in the context of the host, that is, the humans. Therefore, in the third analysis, the team explored how human bodies respond to the virus by examining host proteins. They discovered as many as 441 proteins unique to COVID-19 positive patients, many of which are speculated to play a key role in the body's immune response. The proteomic analysis or large-scale study of proteins were carried out using a technique called high-resolution mass spectrometry. The team is upbeat about the potential that this method has for large-scale testing. Proteins can be reliable markers of infections like COVID-19 because they are more abundant and stable as compared to RNA molecules on which the prevalent RT-PCR tests rely. That's it in this edition of KSG News. Stay tuned for more such short, concise and informative videos. KSG India proudly announces the commencement of center batches for offline coaching at Delhi, Vijayanagar, Delhi, Rajendra Nagar, Jaipur, Bhopal and Indore centers, making sure students' health and safety and also the targeted approach towards UPSC Civil Services Examination preparation. Visit www.ksgindia.com for batch queries.